Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us live as well as here online. We are here at the deck to find out how to put your content into an online course. And I see there's a lot of turnout here, so there must be a lot of people that have content that they're ready to share with the world. How many here are authors? And online, authors. Okay. I see some of you aren't. Many of you might be aspiring authors. Perhaps you have content, you're a speaker, and you want to share a message with the world. Maybe you are a blogger. There are so many different ways that we have content. Well, if you are an author, I'll tell you what. Here are a couple books here that Kary has written, if you know Kary Oberbrunner, and he has been able to help thousands of people, not just from reading a book, but from actually having online courses. So if you would like to help more people with what you're doing, let's look at this. Anyone read or gone through a course of Day Job to Dream Job? Okay, lots of hands on that one. So he put together a course called Day Job. Oh, tell me again, Kary, what's the course name on that one?
Dream Job Boot Camp.
Dream Job Boot Camp. Sorry about that. Awesome. So that one has been very powerful and impactful. The Deeper Path. This is what I started with. I didn't read this book, guys. I actually went through an online course, and it changed my life. This was about 3 years ago. Anyone else gone through this one? Awesome. Online, how about you? Your Secret Name. This is another one. Amazing. And not only can you do a course, but you can also be certified in these things. There's also Elixir Project. Wow. So powerful. This is something that helps you to be able to be focused and get more done. And it's a course, not just a book. A fiction book at that. How many have gone through this one? Awesome. So many here in the room online. How about you guys? Well, tell you what. This is something that we need to learn because it's not just about books, it's not just about blogs or speaking or content. This is where you can have a passive way to help so many different people. So I'm going to invite up here Kary Oberbrunner, who has taught hundreds of people how to do this. And here today, we are grateful to have him to teach us as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Renee. Very good, very good. Fantastic. All right. Well, hey, I'm excited to be here. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready to learn? Okay. Look, check it out. I'm the chief igniter. I say that I'm a bald guy with a girl's name. It's great to be with you here today. And we are going to, by the end of the day, you're going to know how to do your first course. Because I know some of you right now have enough knowledge to do your first course. Is this true? Come on. Is this true? Does everybody know something that they could turn it into a course?
Yeah.
Is anybody lacking? Because I'll bring you up here and I'll show you how you know something, right? Because listen, we all have these amazing things that we're good at, but we're not really comfortable sharing it. Or we think everybody else knows it. How true is that? Isn't this true? One of our people named Kathy, she's not here today, but Kathy opened a bed and breakfast in her own house, and it turned into a great side income. Guess what she could teach a course on?
How to build a bed and breakfast.
How to build a bed and breakfast in your own home, okay? We have a couple here that is trained in how to help couples who've experienced an affair. How do they salvage their marriage and their relationship? Do you think they could turn that into a course? What do you think? You think there's people that may not want to walk into a bookstore and buy that book, but they would love to jump online and do that course in a secret, private way that's going to be helpful? Absolutely. So, before I begin today, well, he's not in the room, so we'll have to come back to this slide. But when David comes back in the room, it's a very special day for David, my business partner. David, it's his birthday, okay? So when David comes back in the room, we can all say, I saw the funny slide of you, David, okay? Is he walking in? No, he's not walking in yet. Okay, so anyways, tell David happy birthday. But look, today we're talking about how online courses can create passive influence, impact, and income. How many of you were at the Igniting Souls conference a few weeks ago? Anybody raise your hand? Okay. I had people come up to me. I know this is strange, the first time it ever happens, but I had people come up to me, strangers, hug me. That is strange. They hugged me and they said, "Thank you for changing my life." Because they took an online course and I've never met them in the past. Isn't that weird? I mean, think about that. your online course is going to help you go to the nations to share your information. Becky, raise your hand in the back. Becky is a narrator, which means that she reads audiobooks for people, correct?
Yep, that's what I do.
Do you think she could create a course on how to be a narrator? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Sometimes you may, check this out, write this down. This is big, Joel. You ready for the tweet?
I'm ready.
All right. Sometimes you will make more money teaching the course about how to do your business than in your business. Did you catch that? Is this true? Vince, come on up here, Vince. You didn't know I was going to do this. Come on up. Let's give Vincent a hand. Yeah. Now this guy, he's humble, and I don't know a ton about you, but I have seen some of your pictures. You get invited to, like, Super Bowl, race car. Tell us about this.
Yeah, I've been a professional photographer for 23 years.
23 years professional photographer, like big stuff, right? I've seen some of your World Series.
NHL Finals this year.
Okay, big stuff. Now, you might make more money actually teaching a course about photography than being in the World Series and shooting. Is this true?
We just did.
You just did? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have your course.
Well, for years everybody says, like, how do you take these pictures? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't want to do one-on-one coaching on photography. I never wanted, so I avoided it. And I teamed up with a guy named Kyle Schultz, who runs a photo school.
Sweet.
Schultz Photo School. He teaches parents how to take better pictures of their kids.
I love it.
So I met him at a retreat, and I looked at him. He told his story, and I told my story, and I said, I have an idea.
Yeah.
And he said, yes. And I laughed. I said, you don't even know what I'm going to say. And he said, well, go ahead and tell me. And I said, I should do a sports photography course for your school.
Wow.
He's built up the following. I built up the experience.
Exactly.
So we did it, and we came together, and for a couple months, we wrote and we recorded the course, and we launched it. And just so you know, as a newspaper photographer, I made around $32,000 a year.
Okay.
The course made $32,000 in a day.
In a day. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? $32,000 in a day, because he said, I am going to stop having these brain picking sessions when someone calls you, hey Vince, you know, I see you're a local photographer.
Can you tell me how to take?
Can you tell me, you know, I'll buy you lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick your brain.
I'll buy you lunch and pick your brain. Do you think the steak dinner or the $32,000 was a little bit better for Vince? What do you think?
And it wasn't even the money as much as the time.
Yeah.
I want my time.
Exactly.
Like you, I have 3 kids.
Right.
I want to be with them. I don't want to spend my time, because we would do the one-on-one meetings, and you go there and they'd be late.
Yeah.
Or talk a little bit
not
more,
even show
or
sometimes.
not show up because you know
no skin in the game.
There's no, but to do that where we can get it all out there. I mean, everything that I've learned over 20-something years, we put into this.
I love it.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good. And hand me your book once. Hand me your book. So I'm teaching you today how to take a book or knowledge and turn it into a course. So here's his brand new book, Freelance to Freedom. Seth Godin did the endorsement, and I read it and gave it an endorsement too. Awesome, fantastic. So great stuff. And I hope you turn that into a course.
That's the next thing.
That's the next thing. All right, that's what we're talking about today. So check this out, folks. According to, this isn't Kary, okay? This isn't my little book of knowledge. According to the Global Industry Analysts Incorporated in 2021, in 2021, we're talking in 4 years, $240 billion are going to be spent or invested in courses. Is that crazy or what? What do you think? Pretty crazy? How many people say I'd like 1% of that? Okay, I don't even know what the math is, but look, $32,000 in one day, and some people spend all year making that. Why? Because online courses allow you to do passive impact. You probably haven't heard that before. I teach not only passive income, but I teach passive impact, where Vincent has probably never even met some of his students. And most of them. And they're all over the world now taking these amazing photographs, thanking you, although they may never really thank you, you know, face to face, but they thanked you with their paycheck. That's pretty cool. All right. So creating your own online course gives you freedom to go as you please, finances to earn as you wish, and fulfillment to live as you like. I take that right from my book, Day Job to Dream Job. You see, if you don't know the story, I was a pastor. So I worked in a nonprofit. That's why I got a master's degree, a doctorate degree, a bachelor's degree. I mean, that was my thing. And then about 6 years ago, after having written books for more than a decade, I said, you know what? I think that there's more to my life than being in one little local four walls of an institution. And there was nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with people who don't aspire to be an entrepreneur. I'm not against that at all. But here's what I do know. I was dying inside, okay? 80% of me was alive, but 20% of me was dead. And I said, you know what? I got 3 kids, I got a wife, I got mortgage, I got this, I got that. There's no way I could ever go into the business world. Business people scared me. I was like, wow, those are the smart people. I'll stick in, teaching Bible stories with people, right? I mean, that was kind of the self-limiting belief. We call that BS, belief system, okay? That was my belief system being very loud and very clear. In fact, Glenn, you knew me back then, right? You invited me to speak at your church. And again, it's not like, ooh, my life was horrible. It was great on the outside, but I knew that there was something that needed to be expressed. Have you guys ever felt this before? When you know that something inside you is longing to give birth? Do you know what the word desire means? Desire means to give birth to. Some of you are pregnant in the room, and not in the way that you think, okay? You are pregnant with this dream. You are pregnant with this idea of what could be possible if you had the income. And the income is merely the result of you creating value. Did you see that? The income is not the goal. If the income is the goal, you're probably in the wrong class. The income is the expression of the value you've created for the world. Okay, that's a good one. Okay? All right, thanks, Joel. So here's the point today, folks. After I went pro with my passion, after I left the Shawshank of my day job and reached the Zihuatanejo of my dream job, people came to me and said, how did you do it? Write this down. Anytime someone asks you how to do something, if more than 3 people or 3 people or more, that's what I'm trying to say, 3 people or more, if they ask you how to do something, you should do a course on that. First of all, I think, because I'm biased, I think you should first write a book on it. Why? Because every course I've created has flowed out of me when I first wrote the book. When you write the book, you are so confident that you know your stuff. Otherwise, just put you up in front of a camera and say, well, just talk. And you're kind of like, well, it's tough. But once you write a book, you own it. In fact, we say this about Michael Jordan. He wrote the book on basketball. Did he actually write the book? I don't know. But we say in the English language he wrote the book on basketball because we know that he's talented and he's credible. I'd love to hear where people are from, Erica. Who do we have watching today? Have they weighed in yet?
Yeah, we have the UK.
The UK?
Alabama.
Sweet.
Colorado.
Awesome.
Florida.
Cool. I'd love to hear people that are watching, what's your expertise? What's your expertise? Because look, whether you know yoga, whether you've had a diagnosis, I mean, seriously, if you've had a diagnosis, that is one of the best courses to create. And you might say, that is crazy. Why not exchange your pain for potential? Some of us, when we go through an illness, what is the first thing people are going to Google when they walk back from the doctor and get a diagnosis? What are they going to Google? The name of the disease. What is blank? Or what if I have blank? Or the survival rate of blank. If you create a course around that, trust me, probably nobody has. Probably nobody's thought about creating a course. And whoever's gone through something before, don't you know the content almost better than the doctors sometimes? Anybody? Right? When I tore my labrum, I knew very much about labrums after I didn't even know what it was before that. And suddenly I can tell people about the suturing process and all this. I could have created a course around that. Some of us have been through pain in our past. I used to struggle as a young adult with depression and actually self-injury. So I was a cutter as a young adult male. That's not that common. Usually it's 15% of young adult females, 4% of the overall population. I could easily create a course on how to help your child navigate through self-injury. Don't you think I could create a course around that? Well, why don't I? I don't know. Because I just did one on ghostwriting. I did one on ghostwriting. People kept saying, how do you ghostwrite? I heard that, you know, when you're a pastor, you made the leap because you ghostwrote a few books. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna create a course around ghostwriting. And I created a course around ghostwriting and not have even advertised it. And I think it's already made like $20,000. Okay. Some of you are you in it? Anybody in here? You're in it. Okay. Good course.
Absolutely. I'd have to
Come
say,
on up, Kathy. Come on. This was the Kathy I was talking about with the bed and breakfast. So I already promoted your bed and breakfast.
I've already heard that from like 3 people.
Yeah, you weren't in the room. But here's an example, folks, where again, I had ghostwritten 3 books by accident, just because people said, hey, I see you write books. Do you know how to do that? We'll get you out of the light here.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to ghostwrite a book. I just knew how to write my own book. So what did I do? I called my friend. He had ghostwritten a book, and in 30 minutes, that's all I had, because he was busy. He said, I'm ghostwriting this celebrity's book. I won't say their name. He said, I don't have time to really talk with you, but I'll give you 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, I just downloaded it, and then I started, you know, ghostwriting books. And you took that course. First of all, why did you take that course?
Well,
I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Okay. I'm a more behind the scenes gal, believe it or not. Folks that know me think that I'm always kind of upfront and out there. My jobs have kind of forced me to do that, but Debbie knows that my preference is I'd make a great admin for somebody.
Sure.
I'd be the one behind the scenes.
Structure.
You know, I love that. So I've been writing for other people for some time.
Wow.
But I really didn't know exactly what I was doing.
Or how to charge, or
how to
rules,
charge,
or guidelines,
or all of that.
Contracts. Yeah.
So, and I have to tell you the little inside story here that you don't know. When that popped up, that it was available, I actually cried.
Okay. Wow.
And Mark walked in and said, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Look at," and he's like, "Oh my gosh." He goes, "That has your name all over it." He said, "You've got to take that." So I did, and it's probably the most comprehensive course.
29 video modules
That you have put out to that point.
Right.
It was so comprehensive. It had everything.
Awesome. And I didn't know everything. Trust me, I didn't know everything when I went to create that course. I'm going to show you the 5 steps of how I did that. Because some of us know it, but we're like, well, I couldn't create a course around it where people give me money, because what if I don't know something? So thanks, Kathy. Glad you're liking the course. Awesome. All right. Here's what you're going to discover today. The 5 steps required for turning your content into a course. And I'm biased. I think a book is actually the best place to begin when you do a course. Why? Because it makes you credible. I wrote the book on this topic. Don't you think I can create a course around it? It already gives you this perceived credibility. Rick in the back, your book, you're one of our authors. Pitch with Purpose.
Yep.
Pitch with Purpose. I'm going to put you on the spot. You remember your subtitle? I know it's crazy fun. Do you remember it?
I have a great subtitle because of your help.
Well, thank you, but what is it?
The subtitle is Start Your Venture, Secure Your Support, and Supercharge Your Dream.
Start your venture.
Secure your support.
Secure your support.
And supercharge your dream.
Supercharge your dream. That little phrase, by the way, your course needs a subtitle. So write this down. Your course needs a subtitle. Just like a book, your course name hooks. Your subtitle or tagline describes the benefit. Okay? So this is what I teach people. We have Author Academy Elite. We have over 400 authors that we're helping write, publish, and market. Some of you are in the room. You have your book. I'm going to call you up later. I hope you have a book. You don't know who you are, but I'm just going to randomly call on you. Because later today, I'm going to bring the whiteboard over, and we're going to literally in real time help people outline their first course. Is that cool? So I said, if you're an author, bring your book, and I might randomly call on you, and we'll create your course on the fly. All right, that's pressure. Is that pressure for me? Yes, I love it, okay? So here's the point. Ghostwriter Academy, you ready for the tagline? turn your passion into a profession. You like that one? Turn your passion into a profession. Ghostwriter Academy hooks them. Ooh, Ghostwriter Academy, what's that? Oh, turn my passion into a profession. I'm interested. Okay, your course is like an iceberg. You don't stop people on the street and say, hey, let me tell you about my course, list all the 25 benefits, da-da-da-da-da. Name and subtitle hooks people, okay? All right, next one. Oh, by the way, Dream Job Bootcamp, right? Dream Job Bootcamp is the course name. You see the branding, you see how this all works. Day Job to Dream Job is the book. Dream Job Bootcamp is the course. You might say, well, what's in the book that's not in the course? A lot. I'm going to give you guys some tips. Write these things down. Erica, you can share the link for Dream Job Bootcamp online so people can literally look and see and not have to write it all down. But let me just give you an example for this, okay? This is about 300 pages, okay? There's a lot of blanks. You see that? There's a lot of blanks. There's pictures, okay? And we call this an interactive PDF. I don't ship this to people. When people join the course, they get an online download with videos. And then here's something I do with my courses. You don't have to do this. I love people. I really do. So all of my courses include a private coaching group where when they have questions, they can ask, okay? Some people hate that. The people who are narrow-minded hate that. They're like, I want to sit in Hawaii with my $32,000 and drink my, and swim and go in the ocean. And I say, great, what happens next? You right? Because we have this dream that says, well, I'm just going to retire and do nothing. To me, that's not exciting. They've done research and said that after a short amount of time, you actually go through depression because you don't have purpose. Okay? The goal in life is not to retire and do nothing. The goal is not to be financially strapped. The goal is to be financially free, but the goal is also to still have purpose and meaning in your life. So me, every course I do, David and I, we have the Igniting Souls Tribe. Raise your hand if you're part of the Igniting Souls Tribe. This means you've bought one of our courses or programs. I guess this side of the room. This side has not. Okay, that's okay. No, I'm kidding. But the point is this. Is that magic? Is the tribe magic? Have you created friendships and partnerships and communities and collaboration and speaking engagements with other people? The community is where people continue to grow. Continue to grow, and let me just be honest, continue to invest. If you say, you bought my Ghostwriter Academy course, Kathy, have a good life. See you later. Maybe heaven. All right, bye. Right? That does not help her. It does not help you. She's going to have questions. You're going to have the opportunity to serve her. And when you continue to serve her, she's going to get value and create wins. And who do you think's in line the next time you have your next course? Kathy. See, this is where so many people fail, and they say, I don't want to manage the coaching group, the private Facebook group. Well, that's on you. Why do you think we've had sold-out event after sold-out event after sold-out event? Because we hang with people. We don't just say, thanks for your money, have a good life. We continue to invest in people, and we've created a movement. Our goal is to ignite 1 million souls by 2020, okay? So here's the point. This course, what it is it's the 9 steps about how to go from your day job to your dream job. I'm going to break this down for you in just a little moment here for your own course. The free platform. Can you pop in the free platform? It's the Thinkific one. Write down Thinkific, everybody in the room, and Teachable. Thinkific and Teachable. This is Coke and Pepsi. Okay? So I don't care which one you use. I suggest Thinkific. I'll tell you why. By the way, these have free versions. Okay, they have trial versions. Thinkific, like instead of terrific, Thinkific, and then Teachable. Both of these things have free versions or low-paying versions, and then you can upscale with more bells and whistles. But this means you don't need a website, you don't need a shopping cart, you don't need an email provider. Everything is in that course platform. Did you hear that? All you need is your iPhone to take videos. You need something to write your manual, and you need a private Facebook coaching group. That's it. How much are all those things? You probably have a laptop, I'm guessing, or a tablet or something, or you can go to the public library. You probably have a smartphone, or you can borrow someone or steal someone's, okay? You guys can do this. It's just time and knowledge, and I'm going to show you how today, okay? All right, David, we're going low on the battery, just FYI, so we'll get that changed eventually. It's all good. When David and I started, you know, I love what people say. People say, well, it's so nice that you and David have this business partnership going on. I don't have my David. You know what? We answered that with Business Academy Elite. It's not for sale or anything now, but we offer that at the conference where David actually does help you. But the point is this, and if you need some, I got some too. David and I didn't start this way. David and I started, you know the story. How much did I used to pay David? Zero, but what did I pay him in? Chicken wings. Okay? David was a stay-at-home dad after having a banking career, and I was a nonprofit leader. I mean, how crazy is that, right? What's your excuse, right? Former cutter, former self-injurer, thank you. You got to get over that stuff. That stuff is preventing you from reaching your people. Did you catch that? My self-limiting beliefs were preventing this from happening. And we're just getting started, okay? Number 3, proven strategies for marketing your course to the masses. David has a great course he just did. How many of you heard it at the conference about how to create an irresistible offer, 10 steps? You need to have urgency. You need to have scarcity, right? And there's 10 steps that David kind of created in that Business Academy Elite module where he talks about the irresistible offer. But you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Some of you have just launched something yesterday. Check this out. When you have your launch, that's just people going on a date with you. If you have a free webinar, if you have a free call where people find out more about you, that's the date. And don't be bummed if people don't sign up on the date to get married with you. What you need to say is, great, I got 7 days to date them. Okay? How are you going to date them for the next 7 days? Anybody? What do you think? How do I date when we launch something? What do I do? Throw something out there.
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. How much does that cost?
Zero.
So it's free. I do a Facebook Live. Do I say, hey, I'm doing a Facebook Live and how I can get your money? Who wants to jump on? What do I do on that Facebook Live, Joel? So again, after you have the course, and now you get into the marketing. I know I'm skipping here, but on purpose, I serve. What else do I do? Does anyone have any success stories? And you might say, well, Kary, my course just started. How would I have a success story? Because you've chatted with someone over the last 20 years and helped them. See, we say, well, you know, I don't have any endorsements. Yes, you do. You have a ton of people that if you say, you know what, has my coaching on interior design last year when you were moving, did that help you at all? Absolutely it helped. Absolutely. We decorated the whole living room because you gave us advice. Do you mind if I write something up and you tweak that to your own vocabulary? How hard is that to do? Anybody? Why are we scared to do that? See, you've been helping people and creating value for years. You're just scared to say that that was actually you. And you're scared to ask people to endorse you. I'm not scared to ask people to endorse me because it's not about me. See, if your lack of endorsement is preventing you from getting a client, that's a block. To me, that's the enemy, blocking you and when you have a dream to reach people, okay? So can you all get an endorsement? Literally, does everybody think they could get an endorsement? Does anyone not think they could get an endorsement? Okay, so everybody can get an endorsement right now. So that's one takeaway. What did I learn today? I can get an endorsement because I've added value to someone in my topic before you did your course. Had you ever helped somebody out at a family reunion with their camera, fellow parent?
All the time.
All the time. all he needed to do was go back and say, hey, and when I showed you about your shutter speed or this or that.
And if I would have known what was to come, all the people that I had talked to all those years,
Yes.
those numbers would have been completely different.
Awesome.
Those people that I helped along the sidelines, they didn't even know that this course was available.
That's
so
right.
That's building your audience beforehand. We missed out because I didn't have
He
that.
could have built his audience beforehand. You see that? He could have built his audience beforehand. Some people are scared and they want to do a beta version. Okay, a beta version. I'm not a big fan of beta version. Beta version is where you do your course for free to a sampling audience so that you can get feedback and improve it. You know why I'm against it? Why am I against it? Anybody?
Create before, you create after you started.
So I have a term in the book I teach, market before you manufacture. Market before you manufacture. You should not sit in your room for 6 months and worry if your hair, I don't have to worry about this, worry if your hair was out of your face when you did that last video. If you don't have a client, you will stall with your course. You know what I say? Sell your course before it's built. Did you hear that? Whoa, what did I just say? Sell your course before it's built. You guys want proof of how this works? Does anybody? Any new people want proof of this concept? How many of you online or in person signed up for Elixir Project Experience before it was built? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay. Are these Kool-Aid drinkers or what? Okay. How many of you bought Author Academy Elite before it was built? How many of you bought Business Academy Elite before it was built? Why do David and I do this? Because why create something if you don't have anyone ready to take it? See, some people say, well, you know, I'm going to go and I'm going to sit in my room for 12 months, and then I'm going to outline it, and then I'm going to make sure every video is perfect. Then I'm going to go out in the world, and then I'm going to get beta testers, and I'm going to give it all away for free because I don't have enough confidence that anyone will buy or that I'm good enough. And then for 30 days, I'm going to make tweaks to the thing. Then I'm going to go out and tell the world I'm ready to sell. And then nobody buys, and then I shoot Kary. Okay? What instead I would rather you do is do a one sheet. This is the step I'm going to teach you about in a moment. I always create a one sheet. I create a one sheet, and I'll get there. You guys ready to get there?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, here's 4 of our courses. Erica, drop in the links. Why? Because I want people to see the sales page. They can see how we list out the sales page. If you're here in the room and you're like, dang it, I wish I had the URL, well, I'll email this to you. Okay? So look for an email from me in the next 2 days, and I'll put all of our courses in there so you can see how did he list the benefits and the sales pages and the testimonials and all that stuff. You can kind of see what we did. All right? Cool? Awesome? All right, nobody wants the email. Does anybody want the email in the room? Okay.
Yes.
All right, a couple people. I'll talk to you after. So number 1, clarify your transformation. This is what you need to do with step 1. Step 1, clarify your transformation. Do not say you're going to create an online course for what? Hey, I'm going to create an online course because I want that on my resume. No. Talk about the transformation. What was the phrase with Ghostwriter Academy? What was the transformative phrase? Turn your passion into a profession. That was the transformation. This course, Ghostwriter Academy, is for people who want to take their passion for writing and exchange it and turn it into a profession. That was the transformation before I even started. This course, the neat thing about doing a book first is you just take your subtitle. This course is practical steps for turning your passion into a full-time gig. Sounds similar. Doesn't it sound a little bit similar to Ghostwriter Academy? Totally different when it's put on the Dream Job Bootcamp. And the content's different. There's nothing in here about contracts with clients and rules and regulations for ghostwriting. Deeper Path. Deeper Path. How many of you have been through the Deeper Path cohort? A lot of you, right? We have a transformative line. How to become a master in the art of living, right? Your secret name. Your secret name. Another book that we turned into a course, right? Here's the thing. Before I do any course, what is the transformation? Has anybody seen those before and after diet pictures? Anybody see those? That's what this is. Before people come into my course, they look and feel and sound and smell and whatever like this. After they take my course, here's the transformation. Here's how they're different. If you don't know what that is, you will not be able to sell your course. Why would people take it? Why would I take a course that teaches me, how to look at my car? Does anyone buy that course ever? How to look at your car. No, how to change tires on your car. Okay, that's lame, but that's still good. Okay? All right? That's useful for some people. We could tweak it, we could spice it up a little bit, but before the course you don't know how to change your tires. After your course you do. Okay? Got it? Step 1? What's step 1? Okay, number 2. Consume your topic. When I go to create anything, I go on a massive diet of information. Okay? I'm nuts enough to think that a former pastor who has a doctorate in transformational leadership would write a young adult dystopian sci-fi thriller. Is that not nuts? That is nuts. It is nuts for me. In fact, they told my family and they said, you are nuts. Before I wrote a young adult sci-fi dystopian fiction near future thriller, you like that? Do you think I consumed anything on my topic? I studied more for this book than these other books combined. Now, you might be like, well, that's just dumb. Look, I knew nothing about young adult dystopian near future fiction thriller. I knew nothing about hacking. I knew nothing about neurobiology. I knew nothing about the tech world that's coming. So to write a book on this topic, I had to massively study that content. What books do you think I read? Anybody? Hunger Games, that's one. What else? Divergent, you ever hear that one? Divergent. What other books do you think I read? Future Crimes, a book by an FBI analyst who talked about what's coming with crime. I actually met with people who are in the FBI world and they talk about hacking. Like, I had to become a massive student of my topic, just like with ghostwriting. I mean, I had ghostwritten 3 books, but to teach the industry-leading course on ghostwriting, do you think I had some fears? Absolutely. So what did I do? I shut everything down, meaning Netflix. No Netflix for me. No TV for me. Okay? When someone comes up to me and says, hey, you should read this book or listen to this podcast, it's really good, I run from them. Okay? Because it might be good, but it's not good now. Why? Because I got a goal. You got a goal when you're creating your course. Now you have a filter whereby you're going through life and you're able to take in that information. Does that make sense? Some of my things would come to me just hanging with my kids and my wife. And I'd be like, ooh, that's good, So what I'm saying is I consume my topic. When you create a course, you consume your topic. But you give yourself a date. Why? Because you will hack yourself. Okay, that's a term I use in Elixir Project, where basically you will sideline, you will self-sabotage yourself, you will hack yourself. Because you will say, but I don't know everything on my topic. And you will say, but I need to read the next book, and I need to watch the next course, and I need to read the next TED Talk. And I need to keep going and going and going because I got to be the expert. No, you don't. You give yourself a date. You say, for the next 30 days, I'm going to consume everything I know on this topic. Rick, did you do this with pitching?
Absolutely.
Now, what Rick maybe did do or didn't do, don't say. But if Rick didn't give himself a deadline, he could have been studying pitching for the next decade. True?
Oh yeah, I've been doing it for 4 years now.
You've been doing it for 4 years. So I should have told him, shame on me, I should have told him 30 days is it. But in 30 days, if you literally consume your topic, get this is a true fact. You will know 95% more than the experts in that industry after 3 books. Google it. Google the quote. Seriously. After you read 3 books, 3 to 5 books, you will know more than 95% of the industry experts in that field. Because books are powerful. Good books, not just any book, but good books on that topic. Does this make sense? Do you think you can confidently sell your course then? What do you think? Yes? Okay. How's the online world doing, Erica? They liking it?
They love it.
Anybody say anything about their own topics, their own courses they want to create, any of that stuff? Go ahead, type in what course you got, okay? This is it. Oh, this is gold. This is gold. Do not miss this. Framework. Every course needs a framework. Every course needs a framework. What do I mean by this? A framework is a solution broken down into simple steps. A solution broken down into simple steps. Does anyone know the framework for day job to dream job? It starts with 3 P's.
Purpose, plan, payoff.
Close. Super close. Prison, plan, payoff. That's the framework. Prison, do you like that? See, former pastor, it did something, right? You got your 3 points, they all start with a P, right? Prison, plan, payoff. Prison is where in the course I talk about how they are stuck in their day job, and it's a prison. And I give them data and research and statistics, because why would your course give the solution before you talk about the problem? See what I'm saying? Why would your course say, here's a solution, when they don't understand the pain and the depth of the problem? Small, shallow introduction of the pain, they're not going to feel the solution. Does this make sense? You take them deep. You say, you know what? 86% of the population is stuck in their day job. And you know what? This is true stuff, by the way. Highest rate of suicide is males Sunday night before they go back to their day job. Ouch. What's the most common day and time of the week for heart attacks?
9 o'clock Monday morning.
9 o'clock Monday morning. You see where I'm going with this? Man, you go deep. You go deep, and that becomes your sales pitch as well. That becomes your call, your awareness call. I don't call it a sales call. I call it an awareness call. Why? Because you're raising people's awareness. Ghostwriting. Do you know that Tim Tebow didn't write his own book? Right? Ghostwriter. Do you know that Captain Sully didn't write his own book? Do you know that the guy on Shark Tank, Damon John, didn't write his own book? And they actually say it right on the front cover. It says, Damon John with da-da-da-da-da. See, and what I do on my awareness calls is I take common names and knowledge and I put it in a way that they're like, whoa, I didn't know that. Do you know that the average ghostwriter makes $10,000 to $20,000 on their first gig? And that celebrity ghostwriters make more than $50,000 per gig. That Hillary Clinton's ghostwriter made $500,000. See, this is all stuff that I become super knowledgeable about because those are all part of the awareness call. Does this make sense? You guys tracking? Framework. I'm going to pick someone from the crowd, and we're going to do this in real time. Okay? So some of you wrote books. Who wrote a book in the room? Author Academy Elite book. Pat. We got Brian. We got Erica. Okay? So I'll bring Brian up first, then we'll do Pat. Okay? So Brian, come on up here. Bring your book up here. Brian. What I like about Brian is he wants to get better. He wants to get better. Can I have a confession? The first time he did his speaker's reel, okay? The first time he did his speaker's reel, he said, what do you think? Dude, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad, all right?
And no, you didn't say that.
I didn't say that, but I said, here's how to improve. But I thought it was bad. He just shared with me a speaker's reel yesterday.
Yeah.
Did anybody else see it?
Yeah.
Was it not crazy amazing, Pat?
It was awesome.
It was amazing. The guy has done a TED Talk now. He's spoken all over the place, and he's archived it. Okay, and he asked for interviews.
Yeah.
After your talk, you asked for interviews, and whoever put that thing together, it's amazing. It's got emotional music. I mean, by the end, I was like, wow, this guy should run for president or whatever. All right. And we won't get into politics. All right,
Please.
so here we go. So sometimes it does take a brain surgeon. Now, be honest about your eyes. Look at the crowd here.
I got one.
All right, you got one eye.
The two are in there, but one is all that you see.
So you're partially blind?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So he took a pain point in his own life. Do you catch this? What pain have you gone through? If you want to know a course, what pain have you gone through? And pain doesn't have to mean, ooh, tears and all. What struggle? What tension? What problem? Okay? So you took something, and I watched your speaker's reel, so I kind of know it now. But you said something about how it took you to go blind before you had personal vision, or something like that. Is that true?
Yep, that's right.
All right. So you see where this is going? The book is not being about physically blind. What is the book being about?
The book is about how you can identify your blind spots, overcome your obstacles, and have a clear vision for your life.
Okay, hold right there. And I know I helped you, I think, with the subtitle. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But here's the point. Check it out. Ready for this, folks? You ready for his framework? Blind. Sight. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
Vision.
Vision. I'm not saying they all need to be 3. I'm not saying prison plan payoff has to be it. But people come in blind. So this is kind of where your course starts. You come in blind, okay? Then you talk all about sight. And what does that mean?
Sight means being able to identify your blind spots.
Okay, so now you're even aware of, we call this in the psychology world, maybe Glenn, maybe I'm butchering it, I know you're a psychologist, but we call this conscious incompetence. Did you catch that? This is something out there, you can Google it. It says that everybody in life begins at unconscious incompetence. Did you catch that? That means you don't know what you don't know. So when you're young and a baby and you're sitting in a car, you have no clue how mom and dad are even in a vehicle driving. Then suddenly when you get to be 12, you're conscious incompetent. My 12-year-old son, Dad, when can I drive? I'm like, whoa, hang on, son, not yet, right? He's aware that he doesn't know. Then you become, conscious incompetent. You're like, wow, I know nothing. This car is scary, the freeway. And then you become unconscious competent, okay? Where you do it in your sleep. You put on makeup, you talk on your cell phone, you shave, you eat while you're driving, okay? Right? And that's not good. I'm not saying that's good. Please hear me. But you can do it automatically. So your book, at this level, is conscious incompetence. They see their blind spots. Then you move to vision in their life. And what's in this chapter?
That's when we talk about how you can formulate your own opus. You can understand your own vision for your life, and you can share it with someone else.
Excellent. So his course would be something about, I think it should be similar to his book title and branding, because I think that's very powerful when you do that, right? When you do that, I recommend it. You don't create a whole new brand. You kind of use a spin-off. Now we call this your secret name, 5-week journey. We call this the Deeper Path coaching cohort. It doesn't need to be exactly Dream Job Boot Camp, but it's enough that it matches your book, okay? So you would use the logo or something like that, and your subtitle might be, well, this is your process. Identify your blind spots, overcome your obstacles, and create a vision for your life, okay? So this might be crafting your personal vision or crafting your personal GPS.
Vision VIP experience.
Vision VIP experience, yes. People need to know what they're getting. Vision VIP experience, I like it, but I don't know what it means exactly. You see what I'm saying? I like the students being called Vision VIPers or something like that, but I don't know what a Vision VIP is. And when you kind of cloud your benefit, people say it sounds nice, but I don't know what I'm getting. That's why I almost think it's good to be stupid simple, okay? Make it so, I'd rather you be bland and clear than super tricky, where people are like, okay, but what is that course going to help me do? So for example, if someone in the room wrote a book on marriage, okay, how to connect with your spouse in a more meaningful way. That would be the subtitle. You'd pick a hook, and then the subtitle would be something like that, where, oh my gosh, I need to connect better with my spouse, okay? So good job. Then what I would suggest is, that's why I love books so much, your table of contents becomes your video modules. Okay? You see that? So your table of contents becomes, chapter 1 becomes video module 1, video module 2, or video 2. You know, these could be the modules, and these are the videos underneath them. Then you take your course, and what you do is, you know, in your book when you say something like, you talked about opus and stuff like that. Now in your book, you actually have space for them to write it out. Why? Because ebooks, people do not read ebooks and then write on their smartphone and say, oh, Brian's asking me to fill in the blank. I'm going to write on my smartphone, right? Your course is where people do the personal interaction. Then, the reason why you can charge a fair amount is because they have access to the author. Now it's not just, I wonder what Brian meant in video 2 when he said this. Well, gee, I guess I'll never know. No, they're in the private Facebook group and they can ask you today, Brian, I'm in video 2, you say to do this exercise, what do you mean by that? And again, he creates community. Does this make sense, folks?
Yeah.
All right.
So what would you call the title? And you said a little bit about the title, but
Yeah.
what do you do for a subtitle as well?
Here's what I do. My subtitle, enter the conversation that's going on in people's mind. Enter the conversation that's going on in people's mind. So for ghostwriters, most ghostwriters know the skill of ghostwriting. They have zero clue on how to turn it into a sustainable business. So that's why that course is turn your passion into a profession, because that's a pain point. Well, gee, I wrote my own book. Gee, I know how to write books, but I have no idea how to turn this into a profession. So what are people walking around saying in their head? They're not saying, gee, I have blind spots. Gee, I really need these blind spots to be fixed. What they're probably saying is clarity. Did you catch that? A lot of people are saying in their lives right now, I don't have clarity. We hear this all the time. How many times have we heard this, Joel? People come to us, and that is their presenting problem. I don't have personal or professional clarity.
Maybe, for me, it was never clarity. I never really talked much. I never really talked much about clarity before until I started working with Kary. I never really understood what it was, and I really talked more about, you know, I don't understand why I've gotten passed over for promotions. I don't understand why maybe I didn't get the job that I thought I was going to get, and I don't understand why different things are affecting me that they didn't affect me before. You know, when I was 25, 30 years old, I was happy. Nothing was going wrong. I just felt good. But now, when I got to a certain age, I don't know if it's an age thing or not, but I started to experience some things, and I didn't understand why they were happening. Clarity would have been what I would be looking for, but at that age of my life, I would not have said, I need clarity.
Right. So should he create a course on what to do when you're looked over for a promotion? Now, his course might not be that, but he actually might have a conference call or a webinar titled that. You can take your course, and this is where it's called A/B testing. And you take your course and you say, you know what, I'm going to have a call, a free call, where I talk about how to navigate being passed over at your workplace. And that's your whole call. Then you sell that. Your next call could be what to do when, again, your health begins to fail.
Yeah.
He's selling the same thing, but he's leading it to a different path. Does that make sense, everybody?
So would those be free calls initially?
You want always, what do we call this, folks? Serve. Jimmy Dean sausage strategy, right? Jimmy Dean sausage strategy is what?
You give them.
You give first, and then they walk away with what in their cart?
Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean sausage. So if he says, you want to join my course? Here's the shopping cart, buy. He will not sell, okay? Andy and Gay, come on up here, come on up here. You sit down. I'll talk to you later. Come on up here, come on up here. Fantastic. You guys are brand spanking new. Good to see you. You're in the tribe all of 48 hours, and you're in the tribe 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So these are like the babies. All right. So did you? This gets on your point. Did you just say, you know what? I'm going to join Author Academy Elite because, you know, I'm going to do it. Like, what had to take place? What did we do to serve you before you even decided to join Author Academy?
Yeah, for me, I think I've been following you about a year.
A year.
And
so a whole year of me giving like free stuff.
I joined the webinar last year. I think you did it about this time last year.
Okay.
And got to the end, and I said, I don't need him to write a book. I can write a book. I know what I'm doing. And a year later, I'm like, man, that book's not done yet.
Right. All right, so it took a whole year of me giving, and then your wife, Becky, joined some things, and you saw
She
transformation in
got
her.
all kinds of free stuff from her, and she's
Okay.
telling me all the good stuff she's getting.
So you're just constantly giving value, everything from tweets to webinars to meetups to you just keep giving, and it's taken some people a year or multiple years to join anything. Then there's Kathy in the room who walked in the first time. She said I'm in the wrong room because she just thought this is not for me. A lady turned around. I just heard the story recently. She turned around, a stranger, and what'd she say to you?
She said, "You're in the right room."
You're in the right room, even though you never said I'm in the wrong room. That's weird. Okay, but that day you joined to go to the conference.
Yes.
So someone came in, boom, and was ready. Other people takes a year. So you were in a little bit of pain trying to write a book for a highly successful business person and not having them reach back to you. Is this kind of where this started?
Right. Yes.
And you came to me and said via email, what, help, or how do we even meet? I don't even know.
Well, I first found out about you because I was looking for a publisher.
Okay.
And I felt like I needed some guidance because I didn't want to write something and then not know where I was going with it. So I had reached out to a colleague of mine who had gone through the John Maxwell training. And she said, I'm just going to send a net out over the Facebook page and see what I get back. And someone had sent back the book hook.
Okay.
So she
Ooh,
had
that's good. That's good, Dave. Did you hear that? We'll talk about that in a moment. Book Hook. It's a free 7-day course. Did you hear that? We didn't just create the paid course. We created a free, super simple 7-day course called My Book Hook, which isn't how to write your book. What is the whole purpose of that whole training?
Well, and you didn't get it all at once. It came once a day.
Oh, yeah.
And at first I'm thinking, okay, is this just junk mail, spam mail? What is this? And it has the unsubscribe thing on there, So I'm thinking this is probably just a conglomerate and it's not going to go anywhere. So I thought, well, I'll check it out. So I checked out day 1 and then you couldn't look at day 2 until the next day. You didn't get them all at once. And I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to mess with this because I got to wait 7 days to see it all, But eventually, each day I would check it, and I thought, this is very simple. It seems like a pattern. It seems like a plan, and that's really what I need right now because I just didn't know where I was going and I wasn't doing anything. So then I studied a little bit more about Kary, and I looked at his Facebook page, and I said, oh my gosh, he's in Ohio. I thought publishers had to be in California or Texas or Tennessee,
or have
not
hair.
in Ohio. And
Right.
so I messaged him on Facebook, and he got back with me in probably less than an hour, and I'm like, he must be a real person, or he's got little people working for him that's a real person, So it was I just didn't feel like it could be real that someone would correspond with little old me in Adams County, Ohio. So that was and I prayed about it, and it came through. So.
Wow. Give me a hug for it. Awesome. First time we met, face to face. Fantastic.
So it only took me a month to sign up.
But here's what the Kary 1.0 would have done, okay? The Kary 1.0, again, because that's where I was years ago, she sent me her phone number. And she sent me, let's talk. And again, when you're running now a global business with people all over the world, we luckily have checks and balances in place where I don't have to pick up the phone every time and do an hour chat, not because I don't want to, but because that's not sustainable. I couldn't serve the authors who need coaching then. So when you have an evergreen webinar, which is what you do once, right, Becky? You record it once, then you say, I'd love to chat with you on the phone. Please watch this webinar first, then we can have a more engaged conversation. What do you think that does with the people who want to kick the tires, who want to waste your time? What do you think it does? Gets them out. They're like, I don't want to watch an hour webinar where I learn an amazing business, model. Joel.
But did Kary 1.0 work at that point in your life?
Yes, to get to the point. But what I wish I would, if I didn't have an evergreen webinar, you bet. I would have called her up. I would have sat and explained the whole process, the whole thing. It would have taken an hour. And maybe she would have loved it more because I would have called her. But honestly, you cannot do that pace as an entrepreneur. Because if 10 people ask you to do that, that's a quarter of your work week. And you don't know if these people are vetted or filtered. So now what I do is I actually encourage people to come here first. I have people that, I don't know if they're here yet, but some people, yes, you are, in the back. Good to see you. You're a realtor.
I'm not a realtor, but I'm in real estate.
You're in real estate, and Erica sent us together, right? Erica connected us, and rather than call her and meet with her for breakfast or something, I said, come here first. You'll see and you'll hear what we're about. Then let's talk after. This is where you can have these. David, can you come up? By the way, let's give these guys a hand. Thank you so much. David, come up. David's going to give you real quick the fire starter formula. Okay, so this is normally taught in Business Academy Elite over several, hours and days. Just give him the real quick fire starter formula, and even what just happened for Andy to be here and Gay to be here. Talk about that fire starter formula.
Yeah, we do spark, flame, blaze. The spark is you give something out for free, a value. You give people something that will help them solve a problem. You try and keep it to one problem. You don't make it too complex. Do something very simple. Something that's going to be a need that people who are in the beginning stages of this situation are going to be looking at it and dealing with. So you think about it from that. Something that's going to be going on as a conversation in their head. Simple, direct, and something that's going to give them an easy, quick win. So they can start building belief that they can make progress here. They can start having confidence that when they move forward that this is going to work. So that's your first thing. You give that away for free because what you have to do is you're building a relationship with this person. You're doing it online. You have to do it in such a way that you give to them first, and you give something of value and something that's going to help them first and foremost, so that they learn that, oh, okay, I can keep coming back to this person and they will help me. I can utilize their resources, their videos, their PDFs or whatever, and I'm going to get things that are useful to me. So you want to do that. Then from there is when you start offering a next step. You don't go for your top high-end consulting or one-on-one type work with them. You offer something that would be a logical next step. It's like, they're browsing in the window, looking in to see if you have something that they might like. They come in and get a free sample, and then the next thing is that they buy something that's a little bit of a moderate price point. So you take that and they take that next step and they buy something that's a moderate price point because they're still learning to see if they can trust you. They've got some free things, they're getting comfortable with you, and then the next step is, okay, great. Now I'm going to actually buy something, take it to a little bit higher commitment level. I'm going to try that. And once they get to that and they get a lot of good value out of it, that's when you can start offering the more higher end services that are going to be a little more profitable for you.
That's great. Awesome. Fire starter formula. Cool. Excellent. All right. So is everybody tracking so far? Should you build your course before you sell your course? No. No, you shouldn't. And let's get to the next one here. Framework. I have a framework. I call it your one sheet. It's a who, what, when, where, why, and how. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay? So before I do anything, I basically say, who is this for? Who is this for? Stay-at-home moms. Dads who hate their day job. Whatever. Who's it for? What is it? Like, what am I offering? Right? Who, what, when? When am I going to offer this? Never put what? Never put TBD or TBA. Clarity attracts, confusion repels. If you say your course will launch TBD, that's the kiss of death. Everybody says this dude's a fraud, making it up. He doesn't know. I'm done. Do not put TBD, do not TBA. I'd rather you say a date and then change it than to say to be determined. Okay? All right? who, what, when, where. Where is this online? Is it in person? Okay, is it going to be over 5 sessions? Is it going to be 6 weeks? Why? I spend a ton of time on why. Why? Because 86% of the population feels like they're imprisoned in their day job. Okay? Why? And then you are either selling, write this down, you are either selling aspirin or vitamins. Your course is either selling aspirin or vitamins. If your course is selling aspirin, it's because people are in pain. Brian's course, in my opinion, he can take 2 marketing strategies. He can take the pain strategy and say, look, if you got passed over in a promotion, if you're not connecting with your spouse, if your kids aren't, wanting to be around you, whatever, you need to, clearer vision course, whatever, okay? And then use your light bulb logo. Who knows? But he could also be selling vitamins. You're already successful, but how do you level up? It's a trendy word. How do you level up in your personal and professional life? Because folks, some people on your marketing call are going to love the aspirin, and other people are going to love the vitamin. But don't sell both at the same time because it's kind of confusing. You see what I'm saying? Are you selling vitamins or aspirin? Your course could be the end goal, but you have a different sequence for the people. Okay? Does that make sense? Notice, you found Author Academy Elite from a 7-day free My Book Hook, which helps you get your book title. Andy was on a webinar that was the whole 2-hour at once. Here's our author model. Here's why traditional publishing doesn't work. Here's why self-publishing doesn't work. Here's why Author Academy Elite gives you the most control, the most profits, the most distribution. Here's an application. There's no shopping cart. Here's an application. And then from there, we interview the people that we feel are a good fit. So with that course, you can't even join if you have money. You have to apply, okay? And there's all different strategies we don't have time to get into today, but why do people have to apply versus just buy? Because we don't want to publish junk. We don't want to publish 51 and a half shades of gray, okay? Or that's just me. If you like the book, that's up to you. Or we don't want to publish how to create terrorism in your kitchen with bombs ingredients, okay? So we're not just publishing anybody, okay? All right, if you like that book, that's up to you. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. So does everyone understand what a framework is? Does everyone understand what a framework is? What? A solution broken down into simple steps. That's what people are buying. People are buying your framework because you're going to help them go from here to here. Okay? Next one. Craft your deliverables. Tell people. People will not buy because of your deliverables. Oh, you're going to get 29 videos. No one's walking around saying in life, I wish I had 29 videos in my life because it would be better. Why is nobody doing that? Because YouTube has billions, right, for free. But you have to show the people the ways that you're going to serve them. We're going to have a private coaching group. We are going to have 7 modules. We are going to have a 40-page guidebook. Okay? We're going to have monthly mastermind meetings. This is what you're delivering to them in your course. If it's confusing, like, well, how am I even going to do this? Is it video? Is it audio? Is it recorded? Am I going to meet the person? I live in Alaska, they live in Ohio, what's going on? You need to show very clearly. This is where Erica dropped in our pages, and we're going to email them to you guys. You can see how we spelled this out, okay? Next one. Communicate your offer. Communicate your offer. Look, if you say my course is available forever and ever and ever, whenever you feel like it, buy it, do you think you're going to sell a lot? Anybody? No. You're not going to sell a lot. So here's the point, folks. Communicate your offer. We only have Author Academy Elite open a few times a year. And so people know out of thousands who've applied, watched the webinar, hundreds have applied, we take 25. And you bet, use email timers. Guys, use email timers. People need deadlines. If your follow-up emails do not have email timers, you're missing out. They're free. Emailtimers.com, I think. I think that's what we use. Emailtimers.com. You put at the bottom of your email the countdown timer. All right? You might say, I'm going to be on Facebook live stream to answer all your questions. All right? You need to communicate your offer. Pat, we're going to bring you up. Bring Pat up. This is going to be a little bit harder. A little bit harder. Okay, come on up, Pat. I'm going to do this with Pat. Again, Pat, I think it's so good you wrote a book because it's so much easier, in my opinion, to take, a book into a course rather than 30 years of knowledge or something. You're right. You stand right there. Look, some of you are up here. Is anybody up here? Are you up here, Pat? There's Pat.
Right.
Pat launched last month when we had 46 of our authors. Was that not crazy?
It was crazy.
And we did a special picture with you and Serena. Remember how old Serena is?
Right. She's 19.
19. So we had our 19-year-old youngest author and our 83 most mature author. And we launched 46 authors from around the world. And now they're all living their dream. And they're all making it happen. And it's fantastic. David and I never thought this was possible 3.5 years ago. And you bought before it was built.
Right.
Did you catch that? She bought before it was built because of credibility. And we stay in touch with people. And we keep trying to give value and keep serving. How many years have I been doing this free once a month? 5 years. See, this is why I get mad when people are like, well, I had one call. I had one call and I only sold one. Okay, we have been doing this once a month for 5 years. And this is only one of our streams where people can come find us. You guys see where you need to go? You need to. Are you in it to win it, or are you just going to quit? Right? We just had a webinar. Andy was on it this week, I believe. Here's the thing: we had 4,000 people register for this. Yes, we use Facebook ads. Don't think, ooh, everyone wants to see my bald head. Okay, they don't. We use Facebook ads. We use strategies. But here's the point: we're picking 25 authors. So right now we're in this launch period where we had the webinar Wednesday. Next Thursday, all 25 spots will be full. And Erica, if you can drop in the link. But even some people here in the room, maybe you came today to write a book. Maybe you never thought about writing a book. But authoracademyelite.com/application. authoracademyelite.com/application. You put your date, your first name, your last name, your email, your phone number, topic of your book, goals as an author, your biggest fears as an author. That's the application. There's a question about there, are you willing to invest in your author career or not? That's another question. But 25 authors we're picking. One's gone, and I believe we had Dana join, and another person this morning. So I think, so Daphne's full with an interview. She already called in for backup. So if you guys are here, you have an advantage because the replay is up till Sunday night, and then we roll and we publish these authors. I coach them twice a week on their whole author career. It's exciting. But tell us about your book.
Well, 7 years ago, I literally woke out of a deep sleep and sat straight up in bed, and I was frightened. It was so quick. And it's the only time I audibly heard the Word of God. It was behind me, and he said, before you die, I'm going to write a book through you to your descendants for 1,000 years forward until I send my son.
Wow.
And to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear and their descendants.
Wow.
So then I had worked with you for 3 years about this book, and I had a terrific title, Masterpiece Life of Significance.
Okay.
And then he gave me a roadmap that would take you and your descendants to him and to your image that you're made in him.
Okay.
And so I came to fellowship, and this was I don't know, but I did 5 months of my wonderful husband doing everything around the house to let me write this book.
Wow, good job, Pete.
And so I literally wrote the 5, and,
Yeah, it's
and that's
called
the tagline.
5 Gifts That Create Legacy.
Legacy.
So can I outline
Yes.
this? Okay. So she's got a course. I think her course should be called The Language of Heaven. That is hooky. Is that hooky or what? Anybody?
Yeah.
I think that's very hooky. And then the benefit is 5 gifts that create legacy. Okay? So now we need to say what conversation is going around in people's head around legacy. What do you guys think? Just feel free to shout things out. What are people walking around saying, you know what, I'm at the end of my life, or I know I'm not going to live forever, and I want to leave a legacy to my kids or generation, or
Well,
yeah.
what is my passion, and I will influence 100,000 people by the time I'm 93.
Okay.
And then he'll give me another 10-year plan, but that's the plan.
All right.
And
I love it. I love it.
So he gave me 5 gifts.
Okay.
With intimacy with God.
Yep. See, there's her table of contents. You see that, Vincent?
Language, intimacy with God. The second is identity. I teach his class on the secret name. So it's written as a script. So
Yeah.
Bernice asks God.
I
She's
got it.
talking to God. She
Yeah.
becomes a Christian.
Okay.
So she says, I was called the curse of my family. What do you call me?
Gotcha.
And he says, the first time your dad called you that,
Right.
I wrote blessing on your white
Love it.
stone.
Love it. Okay.
You see?
I got it. So
identity
yeah.
is the second one.
I got it. So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest a few websites, and if you can go to this website, that would be awesome, okay? So verbs1.com or nouns1.com. This is my little trick, okay? This is my little trick. Verbs1.com, nouns1.com. Don't worry about spelling it. Just Google it. It might be the word verbs with a 1 and nouns with a 1. But here's what I do. Like I say, I think writing a book is so smart because it's easy to turn a course. Part 1, intimacy. Part 2, identity. Part 3, intent. Part 4, inheritance. Part 5, impact. What I try to do then is I try to have parallelism, okay? So you don't want something like intimacy with God while you're walking down the side of the road, Module 1. Module 2, identity. Module 3, intent with the people you love. That's unbalanced. So we want parallelism. What I typically do is do 3 words, okay? And I do, they're all balanced. So for example, I love this formula, okay? This is for your course. Some of you will like this. So what you do is you put blank, your blank. And you got verb, your, and then noun, okay? This is very easy to do a course that way. And they all start with that, okay? So for example, intimacy with God. Instead, she could put increase your intimacy. Module 1. You see that? Increase your intimacy with module 1. Number 2, she has identity. So she could put embrace your identity. And it sounds like it's about they're going to get a new name and they're going to go through a little experience and exercise. Fantastic. The next one is intent. Intent. What's a verb we could use? Blank your intent. Focus your intent. And this is what I do, folks. This is what I literally do. Do I like the word focus? It might lead me to a synonym. Do I like the word clarify? But this is what you do. You begin to make your framework here. And what are we ultimately leading to? The course is the language of heaven. The benefit is 5 gifts that create legacy. Now, she doesn't have to feel tied to the subtitle. She can tweak it a little bit. 5 steps, 5 gifts that create a lasting legacy with your loved ones. You see how she can kind of add and tweak? You see where I'm going with that? All right, number 4, Inheritance. Inheritance. What could we do? Blank your inheritance. Claim. I like it. See how easy this is? Claim your inheritance. And what's the last one? Impact. Solidify. Okay. What is it? Create. This is it. This is how it happens. Then you sit there and you say, which one do I like best? Okay? So then her one sheet looks like this. Who is this for? And David teaches this in Business Academy Elite. What does he call it? Your avatar. Your avatar. Avatar is a fancy name. It just means who online fits your demographics and psychographics. But who this might be for, and I'm just guessing, we can talk later, but who this is for, it's for people who are longevity-minded or senior citizens or whatever you want to talk about.
Well, what is exciting about this is
it's for any age.
Someone from 2013 who was a student at Grace College called me yesterday and said, I felt like I was supposed to call somebody.
Sweet.
And I just thought of you, so I looked you up and called you. I told him about my book, and he is a man in his early 20s, and he began to cry.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So in his 20s.
Forever, but it giving them the awareness that you start with your legacy in your 20s.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about this, folks. Write these two words down. Write down demographics and write down psychographics. Demographics are who people are. People in their 20s. People who are senior citizens. People who have master's degrees. People who, are polka dot spotted, whatever. That's demographics. Psychographics is the strategy we use in the Igniting Souls tribe. We have a 19-year-old author and we have an 83-year-old author. We're not going after demographics. We're not going after certain regions of the country because we have people all over the world. What we go after is what's called psychographics. Psychographics are what is their motivation? What is her book? People who care about the next generation. See, so her who would be psychographic based if she didn't want to go demographic based. Does this make sense? So it could be a pain point, a desire. So one of our Author Academy Elite program, the psychographic is people who want to write books, people who want to become authors. We don't care if they're black, white, red, yellow, green, purple, age, does not matter, anything. Psychographics, okay? So anyways, who, what, when, right? The what is kind of the subtitle, the transformation. The when is she going to start this thing? And I would say pre-sell it. Pre-sell it, which means, hey guys, thanks for joining me on this free call today. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. And then she tells the story. We call that your creation story, okay? This is what Spanx lady Sarah Blakely does. I was at a party, I had to go to a party, I had white pants, didn't have anything that looked and felt right. I had pantyhose, I cut off the feet, and then I wore it, I love it, but they kept rolling up. Nobody would patent it, so I formed my own patent, and now I'm the first woman billionaire entrepreneur, the youngest one. Pretty cool story, right? That's called your creation story. I shared my creation story today. What did I say I used to struggle with? Stuttering. I used to struggle with self-injury. Weave in your creation story in your pitch because people are buying pat. And this is why some of us are scared. Because we're scared because we don't think we're worth anything. We don't think people will buy us, and that's a lie. People will buy you, but you need to be bold and stop looking at yourself and look at how you're going to help them instead. Okay? Who, what, when, where, online, okay, in person, both. We did Deeper Path cohorts in person in the beginning. Now we do them online. Where, and then why. And why is the most important thing. Why? I don't care if you have 5 bullet points. Because your life matters. Because your legacy is important. And now we're on the L's. Keep L. Life, legacy, love, leadership. Write that down, Pete. Okay. But you see where I'm going with this? So she's now got this parallelism because your leadership matters, because your loved ones matter, because your life matters, because your legacy. And then she has a little bit of stats. Boom, 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 boom. How? PayPal link below. Thinkific link below. Teachable link below. Okay? Pat, let's give you a hand. All right? Awesome. We're almost out of time. Vincent's got a question. I will stay around for Q&A, but let me just say this, folks. If something in you was touched today about going to the next level, you want to be one of our authors. By the way, you keep all your own royalties. You keep all your own control. This is your book. It's your, we filed the Library of Congress in your name. It's 39,000 channels that your book gets into around the world. It does get into bookstores. It does get across the seas. We just got 5 of our authors. I basically got them contracts in Vietnamese translation. So, I mean, this is legit. If you want, please, 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 authoracademyelite.com/application. That's kind of what we're focusing on today. And then Thursday, the class ends. And our last class, we did in August. So sometimes we open them up only a couple times a year. So please apply. It's not a commitment. It's a, I'm interested, we're interested in you, and then we'll talk to you one-on-one in an interview, and it's fantastic, okay? So go ahead and do that. If you're in the room and you want to do that too, you can do that on my laptop after we're done. Vincent, you had a question.
Yeah, this content for this was finished about a year ago.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
So there's a course that's coming out, but there's so much stuff that has come out since I've written it that goes in between there. Where are you in terms of like, yeah, you have your outline.
Yeah.
But there are things that I'm like, if I would have been able to write right now, this would have been added, this might have been moved around.
That's actually a great selling point. Yes, when you write a book, it's frozen, it's there. Okay, you're not updating this as a Google Doc in real time. So you have learned things. That's one of the benefits that you can say when somebody says, well, why don't I just read your book? Well, A, they don't have access to you when they're reading the book. They don't have the community element, okay? They can't ask you questions, but also they don't go as deep with it. We've seen lives changed because the course is a deep dive. The book is a read it, did it, done.
There's only so many words you can put in.
So what you can do is you can actually say that the course includes, boom, the top 10 ways entrepreneurs can make money that was just released in whatever. It includes cutting edge platforms and updates where entrepreneurs can da-da-da-da-da. That's actually a really good selling point, that it's come out with the current cutting edge. It's cutting edge.
Excellent.
And then you can do upgrades. How many of you bought your secret name like when it first came out, right? The course. We've upgraded it like several times for free. So when we make updates, we just bless our people. That creates loyalty, reciprocity, and they're excited because now they have the latest cutting edge. When David and I first started, David, do you remember where we filmed the Deeper Path course the first time? Where was it? I think it was in your kitchen. It was in your kitchen. His kids were at school. His wife was gone. You got the chandelier like above my head, a glow. You got the window. I mean, folks, I know a friend who's I think 9 or 10 figures. It's crazy. And he used to put a cardboard box with duct tape around a flip cam. You don't need these cameras, these tripods. You don't need crazy, crazy stuff. The world is waiting for you. Why are you waiting? Right? Why are you waiting? Awesome. In fact, Kathy, someone just sent me a message this week that said they took Ghostwriter Academy, never thought they could be a ghostwriter. She's one of our authors. She thought, I gave her a challenge this week, all the ghostwriters. They said, ask 3 people, strangers, have they ever thought about writing a book? That's how you make business as a ghostwriter. You don't say, I'm a ghostwriter. You say, have you ever thought about writing a book? And they say, yes, I have, but I don't have the time, but I don't have the expertise, but I don't know how. And you say, fantastic. If you ever want to chat, I'm a ghostwriter. I actually help people do this. She got her first contract for $20,000. Okay, first contract. And she took a course. Okay? Now, I wish I got a cut of that, okay? But that's the power of your sports photography course, that people are going to love pictures of their kids, and some might actually be doing the next Super Bowl in 20 years.
And the thing with that is, too, is once it's done, it continues to
And you
sell.
keep making money, passive income and passive impact. Awesome. Well, folks, it was great being with you here today, and I hope some of you can join us on this author journey, but good luck and best wishes as you create your own course, all right? Awesome. We'll see you. Very cool. Cool. By the way, David's birthday. Oh, yeah.